Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys my combo tutorial on how to play Adamancipator Gogogo. So this is actually really cool because this deck is going to be getting some new support later this summer when we get the new core set. So really cool that we're going to be getting some new stuff for this. I did just profile this the other day, so if you guys have not seen the profile, probably go ahead and pause this video. Go ahead and check out the profile. I will leave a link to that down in the description below. But yeah, this is a very fun deck, very cool deck to be able to pilot. Overall, the turns do sort of change up depending on how the R&D goes with the Adamancipators and also just what you draw for your original 5 cards. But we are going to be doing a sort of like a quick guide to like one of the main cards of the deck. Then we're going to be doing a sort of a quick combo guide on like a certain combo, and then we are going to be doing just a regular hand test just to sort of see what the deck can come up with. So without any further ado, let's get straight on into it. Alright, so before we get into any like actual combos, I do want to talk about one of the most important combo pieces of the extra deck, which is going to be Gallic Granite. This card is super duper important for the deck because this is the card that allows you to basically search for whatever piece of your puzzle that you're missing. And one of the main plays that we're trying to do is to be able to special summon Barrier Statue of the Drought. Either we can special summon it during our turn by several means, like by special summoning it with one of your Adamancipator cards or with like even Saryuja, or you can also special summon it during your opponent's turn with a card like Brownton, the Heavenly General. So this card, really insane to be able to pull Barrier Statue out of your hand, as long as it's in your hand during your opponent's turn, and this card is pointing towards like another Earth monster. So sort of if this is what your board is looking like, you are pointing at another Earth monster, and this card is in your hand, you can special summon this card. So why am I saying all that? That is because Gallic Granite is super important to the deck because it is able to search out cards like Barrier Statue. However, Barrier Statue, what we're trying to usually do in this deck, the way that it just combos best, is for us to be able to find a way to Foolish Burial this into the graveyard, or just, again, special summon it out of the deck. Maybe you'll, like, use it, like, send it away for, like, another XZ play or something, and then bring it back later, because we are trying to potentially bring it back during our opponent's turn. Boy, it's over here, with our Adamancipator Leonite. So again, we have a lot of ways. We can summon it with Leonite from grave during our opponent's turn, or we can summon it during our opponent's turn with Brownton, or we can just get Barrier Statue out during our turn and just call it a day, depending on if that's at the end of our turn, or we kind of go mid-combo and then just leave on like maybe a slightly substandard board. However you want to do it. Again, this deck is very R&D based. But anyways, our search targets for Gallic Granite typically are going to be your Barrier Statue of the Drought, sometimes your Nibiru. We also have Rock Band Xeno Guitar. We have our hidden gem card here. This card allows you to get an additional normal summon, which is just really impactful. And then we also have Adamancipator Researcher. The reason why specifically Researcher is pulled out here is because if we only have Gallic Granite, but we still need to combo with our Adamancipators, then you can still search for Researcher, and then Researcher is able to special summon herself because we already have a rock monster on the field. So in general, these are going to be like your backup 5, but your main guy that you are searching is the card that I pulled out before, Gigantes. Always remember, just for this combo tutorial, for like whenever you're playing this deck, Gigantes is your main guy you want to save Gallic Granite for. And the reason for that is because, like I said, we want to be able to potentially summon the Barrier Statue back from grave with Leonite during our opponent's turn. Well, how do you get him into the graveyard? With your Rock Band Xeno Guitar. How do you get to Rock Band Xeno Guitar? Well, again, this is all just sort of like a big puzzle piece to the deck. But we have our Adamancipators. We have like basically 4 different shots because we have our 3 Adamancipators in the main deck as well as our Raptite. These cards are basically your 4 options to be able to pull Xeno Guitar out of the deck, or you can just draw it. We have tons of different methods of drawing. So for drawing, we have our Dugaris, we have Diagusto Emerald, and we also have Saryuja, along with, even in the main deck, we have the Crystal Dragite. So just tons of different ways to be able to draw cards out of the deck. So in general, if your deck is working good, you should be able to see Xeno Guitar. So Xeno Guitar is kind of out of the question for always needing to pull Gallic Granite, because you're probably just going to be special summoning this or drawing into it. Same thing goes exactly for the Hidden Gem. This card is really amazing, but we are playing both of these cards at 2 because they are so important to the deck. You might as well just play them at 2. That way, like, they can get special summoned from the deck by Adamancipators, or you can just draw into them. Nibiru, we are only playing 1 copy of, just because we don't want to brick on it too much with, like, revealing it on an Adamancipator card, because it cannot be summoned by, like, the main deck Adamancipators. But Nibiru is still a really cool card that you can search. Again, it just kind of comes up situationally when you need to pull it. Barrier Statue, like I said, you can search for this, but sometimes we're just trying to Foolish Burial it with our Xeno Guitar, or we actually are playing just the spell card Foolish Burial as well to be able to do that. Researcher, you only pull this off if you don't have any other way to combo. So again, Gigantes is your main search target for Gallic Granite. I already went over this in the deck profile a little bit, but I wanted to give a bigger explanation as to why Gallic Granite is so important, and like which scenarios you're going to specifically be in where you want to pull these cards out. And Gallic Granite is not limited to any of these cards. Also, I just want to double check. Yes, add a rock monster from your deck. Okay, so it doesn't have to be like a level 4 or lower. So yes, you can still search Nibiru. I just wanted to double check that while I'm talking. But it is not limited to these 6 cards. You still have like big players like Doki Doki or like Gogogo Giant, which you might still want to pull. You might want to get Nibiru Protection and search for Quackmira Guardian. There are tons of different plays, but again, if you can, try to save the search for Gigantes. Alright, so with all that said, let's finally get into some combo stuff. So, you guys can see I got some cards pulled out here. These are some of the most like impactful cards that we do have in the deck. So this is why I wanted to show you like what these cards can kind of do in combination with each other. We're going to kind of go over this bottom half combo here, and then we're going to do also like the top half combo. So we're going to run through both of them. We're going to probably get halfway through the top one, and then once we get to the R&D part, then we're going to stop, and then we'll just run through the full combo here. But basically the reason why I got these pulled out is that these cards overall are going to be probably one of your best openings. So if you kind of go along the line here, we have Gogogo Gigas or your Gogogo Glove, plus a copy of Pickup or Para, and then Adamancipator Researcher, or there are a couple other variations I do kind of want to go over. You could also substitute in Doki Doki plus your Hidden Gem card, just because of the fact that like after your Para goes off, you're going to need your normal summon of like your Gogogo Giant or something, and then like Doki Doki would be taking up your normal summon. However, your Hidden Gem card can kind of like mitigate the fact that you are going to be losing your normal summon, so that's where Doki Doki can kind of come in handy. So, the really nice thing about this is that every card that you see here is a 2 or a 3 of. The only 2 ofs that we have here are Hidden Gem, which is, again, just kind of like in here like as a bonus, and then the Gigas and the Gogogo Glove. But also just in general, like Researcher plus either of these cards is like massive full combo. Like these are going to be some of your best boards that you can come up with, and then depending on what other extenders that you get, like the more Gogogos that you have in your opening hand, that is what really sets yourself apart. So anyways, let's start off here. We are going to just sort of do sort of like the rundown here of opening with the Adamancipator. We're going to skip Researcher for now. We're going to open Doki Doki. So this is basically going to be our opening. But again, a lot of this stuff could change around. You could have Gigas, Pickup, and Doki Doki. There's a lot of different like ways that this could all work around. But for what we're going to do here to start off, we are going to be doing this combo. So let's say that we're starting off activating Adamancipator, and that is going to pitch the Gogogo Glove out of our hand. So off of the Para there, what we're going to be picking up is going to be another copy of the Dodo Dwarf Gogogo Glove and our copy of Gogogo Gigas. The important thing here is the fact that we had the Dodo Dwarf, that means that we probably want to pick this up. We also want to definitely pick up the Gigas. Otherwise, we would have grabbed Giant. let's say that if we had Gigas and we were able to pitch that, then these are the two we would be grabbing, because Giant can actually get us an extra monster for his like normal summon effect. But the fact that we discarded the Dododo Wharf Go-Go-Go glove does kind of slow us down. So that is one point in this combo where it actually does matter. So now our hand is looking like this. We are then going to go ahead and normal summon our copy of Doki Doki. Then with the Doki Doki, we are going to pitch our, no, wait, what are we doing? Yes, we are going to pitch our copy of the Go-Go-Go glove there. And then that is going to allow us to special summon our Analyzer from out of the deck. We're going to hold on to Analyzer's effect for now. We're going to pitch our Hidden Gem, and then normal summon our copy of Go-Go-Go Giant, utilizing his effect to special summon one Dododo or Go-Go-Go monster from the graveyard. And then also, because we have another Go-Go-Go on the field, we are able to special summon our second copy there. So already what we have here with like just the small opening that we had, we already have 5 monsters on the board, and we still have not utilized Analyzer yet. This monster here is going to get banished the next time that it leaves the field. So what we're going to do, instead of letting it leave the field naturally, is we're just going to go into Gallic Granite right there, and we're going to use Granite right away to detach, and then search for our copy of Gigantes. And so that is kind of where like this combo stops. Like I said, like right here we pulled the Gigantes off. The next thing is just sort of all dependent on what Analyzer reveals. Analyzer, like, you know, from here we're going to be like, you know, we'll special summon something else. Let's see what our next top 5 are. Okay, so we have Dragite right off the top. So like Dragite, that's going to draw us a card as well. So basically overall, there's going to be a lot of different stuff going on. Also, don't forget that with the Dragite on the field, the fact that we used the Hidden Gem earlier, as long as we have a Earth and a Water on the field, this card can eventually special summon itself back to the field. And then basically, just to help clear up your field, the next thing that you're probably going to do here would be to like summon out Dugaris, just to get him to the extra monster zone. That's just another thing that I haven't really talked about yet. But yeah, now you will have like 2 more main monster zones, and you just toss them up there. The main reason why you always put Dugaris up to this top zone, or like one of your extra monster zones, is because of the fact that with Dugaris, you're always going to be linking him away for either Saryuja or IP Masquerena, or maybe even Raten. But you never really need to leave him in the main monster zone, because you are going to link him away after he utilizes his effect. But that is kind of going to do it for this first part. Let's get on into that second option of the combo. Alright, so for this next combo, what we are going to be doing here is very similar to the last one, but like I said, Gigas in the graveyard just leaves you the ability to, on your Adamancipator, you get some better searches, and Researcher is obviously just going to be great to have in hand. So let's try this one out. So we're going to go with Adamancipator Pickup. That is going to search for our Adamancipator. We will then use Adamancipator to pitch our Gigas to the graveyard, and then search for our 2 names. So we are going to grab these 2 guys right here. So already our hand is just looking spectacular. And also another thing that I said earlier is that with Adamancipator Pickup, that is going to enable you to, once per turn, you can like target one of your Go-Go-Go, Gagaga guys on the field, and then you are able to change the effects of all of your monsters that have, change the levels of all of your guys to be that same level. So that means that if you have like your Hidden Gem on the field, which is a level 2 naturally, you're able to change that to a level 4, and then just do a whole bunch more rank 4 plays. So really, really cool utility that this card enables you. We are then going to summon out the Go-Go-Go Giant. Giant then is also going to allow us to special summon our copy of Gigas from the graveyard. So that is off of Giant's effect, not Gigas. That's a very, very important thing to pick up there. We are then going to special summon our copy of Researcher. That is going to allow us to then do some of our combo shenanigans here. So our setup here was like fairly similar. However, we're already going to be getting into all of the R&D stuff right away. So we're just going to scoot that off to the side, give the deck a quick shuffle, and see what our top 5 is going to be. All right. Okay. Wow. Okay. So we're already starting off with Dragite on top. Otherwise, we have the option of Xeno Guitar. Xeno Guitar is actually really, really tempting. We do have 2 copies of it, so we might see it a little bit later. We don't necessarily need the Gigas. We obviously can't summon Research off Researcher, and the Adamancipator does nothing. This is a bit of a tough one, because Dragite is going to allow us to draw extra stuff, and Xeno Guitar is obviously very important to the combo. Like I said, we're trying to get our guy Foolish into the graveyard, and we are already set up to do Gigantes, so this is a bit of a tough one. I just always like to try to go for as much potential as possible, so let's go for Dragite here. Dragite, and then on Resolution we'll draw a card. Okay, so we pick up Analyzer, not exactly the best pickup, but it's still is going to be able to help us. So we are going to go ahead and take these 2, or what am I thinking here? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take these 2 here, and then we are going to overlay into our copy of Gallic Granite. So detaching here, we're going to get rid of the Gigas off of Gallic Granite, and then we are going to pick up our copy of Gigantes. So right here we're in a little bit of a pickle. Now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, what it probably actually just still would have been better would have been, we could have gone Xeno Guitar, and then eventually gotten Xeno Guitar into grave. Gallic Granite would have searched for Gigantes, and then that would have meant that we would have just dumped the guy to grave, and we probably could have just found some other combos throughout the way. But this is what we decided on, so this is what we're going to be doing. So we are searching for our Gigantes here off of Gallic Granite, and we still have Raptite, so we're not really too concerned. Raptite is always just a great option. And hopefully we can find ourselves like a Doki Doki to get out of this little bit of a rut that we're in. So we are going to take these out and go into our Raptite right here. Raptite effect is then going to go off. We already shuffled the deck, so let's see what we can get. We've got an Analyzer, which is an amazing pickup, and Doki Doki. Okay, so now we get into more decisions. You kind of always have to go for Analyzer off of Raptite. This is just another big combo here to mention. So I'm trying to sort of mention as much as I can as we're going. Gallic Granite, I've already talked about him. I talked about Dugaris needing to go to the extra monster zone. And then another important one is that Raptite. Raptite is the only card in the deck, or the only Adamancipator monster that can summon other Adamancipator tuner monsters. So that's a very important thing, because you just can special summon any excavated rock into defense position. So that is very important. We can now go ahead and utilize our Analyzer's effect. So, okay, and there we get our refund on our Doki Doki there anyways. So, Doki Doki, we will special summon him. And now we are really sitting good. So what we are going to then do is we are going to pitch Analyzer. And now off of the Doki Doki, there's a couple options that we could do here. Actually, wait a second. Before we do that, we also want to consider one other thing. So basically what we would be going for Doki Doki here is that we could either, Doki Doki would be able to pitch a card to be able to special summon out the Dodo Dwarf Gogogo Glove. That way we could get a couple more XZ plays with our Gigas and stuff in the grave. Or what we could do is just straight up pull our Xeno Guitar straight out of the graveyard, and then we have our combo pieces there, but then our end board is going to be a little bit less impressive. So I am seeing one line, though, in particular that does enable us to use our Onamana pickup. So I think that that's going to be the line that we're going to try. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Doki Doki to pitch our copy of the Dodo Dwarf Gogogo Glove. And then what we are going to be doing is we will just go ahead and special summon our next copy. Sorry, not that. Probably our Gigas. Yes, we want to special summon another Gigas from the deck. Then what we are going to do with our Onamana pickup here is that you can target a Gogogo monster on the field or one of the others, and then all monsters you currently control become that monster's level until the end of this turn. So we are going to target our Gigas here, target him, and now everything is level 4s, which is actually pretty cool, because then that means that we can use Raptite to directly go into our Leonite if we get another level 2 on the field. But now that means that we can go ahead and take these and overlay them into our copy of Dugaris. So Dugaris always to the top here. And now what we're able to do is, since we have a Gogogo on the field, we are able to special summon our Dodo Dwarf from the grave, and then once our other Gigas sees that special summon from grave, we are able to special summon this Gigas, and just keep in mind that the first time that we special summoned Gigas this turn was off of Giant. This Gigas was summoned off of Doki Doki, so now Gigas is finally summoning himself off of his own effect, which is just a very important distinction to make. And then the other thing to keep in mind with Gigas is now we are locked out of our battle phase, but if we're interpreting this as our first turn, then that's not too big of a deal. So now what we can do is we can just go for our XZ plays into like Diagusto Emerald. So we might as well go ahead and we will overlay these guys. Very important also to make sure that we overlay Gogogo Glove because we don't want it to get banished. Then what we are going to do is we are probably going to start with Dugaris. So we have like some more targets to shuffle in. So we're going to go Dugaris and we're going to utilize his effect to draw 2 and then discard 1 card. Now basically all we're hoping for here is to see our barrier statue and or to find our Xeno Guitar or Foolish Burial. So we do have quite a few options here. So we're going to draw 2. Oh, also Hidden Gem. That is another great card to be able to find right there. Now at this point, we do still need to discard for Dugaris' effect. Overall, I think the only main thing that we want to do is discarding Analyzer, which kind of stinks. We could probably utilize Analyzer for something like a normal summon or whatnot, but the rest of these cards are just too powerful to give them up. And then after that, we probably just want to go for Emerald's effect. Let's just double check what we all have here. So yeah, off of all of this, it's a little bit complex. I feel like we want to leave one Analyzer, one, yeah, we want to kind of leave those guys. Dragite, though, is still also like a pretty good option. I'm trying to think if we have another way of sort of getting another body on board before we do anything. Let's see, and what else do we have for options here? So since we already used Dugaris, I think that we really do just have to, because we do detach off of Emerald anyways, so we'll detach off of Emerald. We're going to detach actually no, let's leave the, here we go. We actually have some good options here. So we're going to detach off the Gigas. That way he's going to head to the graveyard, and then Emerald is going to shuffle back Gigas, one of the Analyzers, and then also the Doki Doki. Yeah, that's perfect. So then we actually end up with having a lot of our good names still in the deck. So let's go ahead and shuffle those guys back into the deck really quick. Whoops. And then that's going to allow us to still draw one more card off the top. And wow, okay, so we still pick up an Analyzer. So that's crazy. So what we're going to do then is we are going to discard that guy. And then, like I said, we wanted an Analyzer or something for a normal summon. So we're going to normal summon there. And then I think from here, we're just going to take all of these to go into our Saryuja finally. Or actually, before we do that, oh my gosh, let's finally get our Nibiru protection on the board, because I feel like I've been kind of fighting it this whole time, which you guys are probably going crazy. Most of you guys would probably be like going for Nibiru protection right away. We just haven't really come across it in this combo. And also the other thing is just that like in general, Nibiru is not being played like a ton right now. You know, and that could always change, but overall I still think that this is still like was a perfectly fine line to go with. And then the other thing that I do want to mention right now while we're at it, because I always forget this, I find myself doing this constantly while I'm doing combos. When you use Diagusto Emerald, if you have your Dugaris in grave, you need to remember not to shuffle this back, because you might think, hey, I'm locked out of like not being able to draw next turn, so that really stinks. Maybe I should just shuffle him back, and then I can maybe do like another draw 2 and discard another card next turn. But you need to keep in mind that you need that fire in the graveyard for your Leonite, and he's the only fire that we play in the whole deck. So always keep that in mind. You need Dugaris to get to the graveyard, and he needs to stay there. I did have one test combo that I was or like while I was like practicing with the deck, where I actually did shuffle this back in accidentally, and then I just went through and made another big board, got 2 more level 4s out, and then I was able to end up actually link or XE summoning him again, and then I used him as link material to go into like IP Masquerena, and then I got him back in the graveyard. So it is possible to do that. So just keep that in mind though. You always want to make sure that you do that properly. I'm actually thinking that I just also see another really solid line here. So hate to backtrack once more, but before we get rid of all of this stuff, we actually have a signs right here. We might as well actually just go ahead and use signs. And with the signs, what is our best option here? Because we're going to draw stuff. We can always special. Let's go ahead and take a researcher back here. And then since we're special summoning a Adamancipator monster from the graveyard, what we can do is we can actually stack the top card of the deck. So this is where we can stack Xenoguitar, or we could stack our copy of the... we could just straight up stack our copy of what's his name, the barrier statue of the Draught. But this is actually going to give us our Leonite play, so we might as well just do this, thin the deck even a little bit more. So let's go ahead and what am I doing here with this guy? What am I doing with that? Oh yeah, I'm stacking it onto the top of the deck. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so now we are ready to go for our play for Saryuja. So we stacked our Xenoguitar to the top of the deck. We now get to draw our top 4 cards of the deck. Wow, and we pick up another copy of Signs and a Kawaii Mirror Supplier. This is actually insane. So, okay, wait, no. We still have to put cards to the bottom of the deck. Okay, otherwise, if we were going to end with like some of these cards, this would have been absolutely bonkers. These 3 cards are going to go to the bottom of the deck. What am I thinking? Let's see, and we did use our extra normal summon that we got off of this guy. So we are just going to use Saryuja's effect to special summon our Xenoguitar. Then Xenoguitar and Adamancipator Researcher are going to go into Leonite. Leonite is now going to utilize... do we want to... No, we don't want to utilize his effect yet. First, we are going to special summon our Gigantes to the field, because with Gigantes getting special summoned, that is going to allow us to... Sorry, we banish Xenoguitar for that, and now we can shuffle up the deck a little bit more, because we did just... Barrier Statue of the Draught is going to go to the grave. We did just see an Adamancipator Signs, which technically is a search target off of this, so maybe we can get lucky. We still have not seen Seeker yet, so maybe we can find Seeker as well. Seeker or a Signs would be probably the best pick that we get off the top. But now we're going to use Leonite. Now that we we thinned another card out of the deck, that is just the best case scenario that we want. So we're going to pick up, oh my gosh, we got suppliers for days. Okay, so we did get Signs though. So Signs, do we want to utilize Signs? We still have Gigantes on board, so that still means that we can, basically we have 2 methods of what we can do here. We could, so basically what we've got here, these are the only cards left in our extra deck, which is crazy that we've gone this far. Basically we get to the point of whatever we find most valuable, we can either go into Dragite, which would allow us to have a spell trap negate, or we can go into IP Masquerena, which is then going to just give us access to either Cerberus on our opponent's turn, SP Little Knight, or Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, if we really felt like that was like a viable option. So let's go ahead and see here. So we are picking up Signs though from all of this. So we'll get Signs to the hand. And yeah, like I said, this is just like, so we have Gigantes already. Gigantes, I'm just trying to think of what overall makes the most sense. The one thing, so Dragite might seem like he's the best because he's going to give you that spell trap protection. The only other argument that I have against that is the fact that Dragite is really solid at breaking boards. So if our opponent breaks through our board, we always would have Dragite as that option to like fight back on our opponent's turn. So that's where I would maybe be leaning more towards like IP Masquerena and then go into SP Little Knight on our opponent's turn. However, I do just still think that Dragite is the way to go. You just can't deny that the fact of having a spell trap negation is really solid. So we're going to use Signs. bring back Analyzer, and then Signs. Again, we are able to stack the top card of our deck. Now, we are not able to draw on our next turn, but we are able to draw the turn after, or if we like had any kind of an effect that would let us draw again. We definitely want to have Analyzer on the top, because Analyzer is probably going to be able to special summon itself to the field if our opponent breaks through our board, or if let's say our opponent like even if we just draw for turn and we can just normal summon Analyzer and be off to the races, and then still get everybody else's effects off. So we were going to special summon Dragite. Dragite is actually going to get that attack boost, and then during our opponent's turn, since we have our Dugaris in grave, we have a fire in grave, we are then able to then special summon our barrier statue from the grave as well. So here what we're looking at is we have a monster negate, and then as well as this card can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and then we have Dragite on the field, which is going to be a spell trap negate. Saryuja is going to be boosting these guys by 300, except for this guy because I believe he was summoned before Saryuja was summoned. But yes, boosting 300 defense, boosting 300 attack, and then also our opponent is not able to special summon except for earth monsters. So overall, very, very powerful. And then on our next turn, we are not able to draw, but we still have a lot of really solid stuff. And then on the following turn, we are going to be picking up Analyzer off of the top from there. And then let's just say that something like this was gone and Analyzer was able to get its effect off again on our next turn. If we still have another turn, then we still have some really nice options. We have like Supplier and stuff. So overall, that is going to do it for the combo tutorial, guys. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed this one. I know this one was a little bit lengthy again, but I could just talk about this deck all day. But let me know down in the comment section what you guys thought about this one, and we will see you guys for the next video. Peace.